Hi guys, welcome to Blank Spaces with Nale. My name is Manale Akol, and today I'm going to be doing a video, part 2 actually, of last week's video, which is the things I have learned about motherhood. So these things are obviously personal experiences that I've gotten along the way, and if you have some tips that you'd like to share with us, you're more than welcome. I'd really like to hear all about it. So if you haven't checked out the first part, it's okay. Just continue with this part. And then after the video is done, I'm going to actually link the part 1 at the end of this video, and you can check it out. Remember guys, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, press the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos. They're only going to get interesting, believe you me. For example, next week I'm doing a poem, so I'm sure that you'd actually want to check that out. Last week it was, I think, about 6 points, and this week I'm gonna just wrap it up and make it 5 points. There's always a lot of things to be spoken about regarding to this topic, but I'm just gonna narrate it to the 5 and then overall to the 11 that I think is actually important. Let's get into it. Oh, before I actually forget, how can I, to my subscribers, thank you very much. I appreciate the love and the support. I really appreciate it. So this is one more thing that I would like you guys to do. Share my channel, my videos with your friends and your family. If they ask you, what is Nale Blank Spaces with Nale about, just tell them it's all things inspirational. That's exactly what I'm about. That is the objective of these videos, is to just share my point of view in life, and also to hopefully encourage someone or make someone learn something new. All right? Yes, there's always for the first time, and I hope that all of us are trying to improve ourselves every day and learn something about our surroundings or ourselves that we didn't before. Let's get into it. The first point, right? Today I decided to start with this one. So, parents. The things that I have learned is that my daughter is not me. She might look a little bit like me. No, actually, she looks like her dad. She might have a bit of my trait here and there. I'm her mother. She lives with me. She picks up after me here and there. But she's not me. So I have learned that I must not try and take how I think and how I am built onto her, push it onto her, expect her to be the same way. I have learned that I have to celebrate her as she is and not try to make her me, but to learn that this is a unique person. She's her own individual, and even though some things she gets from me and her dad, but she's still her own person, really. So if I want to enjoy this journey, I have to be open-minded, and I have to tell myself that I'm getting to know someone new, if you know what I mean, because she's growing, and then I'm getting to know about her likes, I'm getting to know about her dislikes, her strong personality here and there, what she's more likely drawn to, and all of those things. Now, of course, the principles and the values are the ones that we get to influence. However, how she is naturally, that's one of the things that I've learned, that she is not me or my husband. So we should not even try to make her do things the way we would. Actually, more often than not, I've realized that I'm learning a lot of things by just letting her be. I'm learning how she prefers some things to be done, and that way it's teaching me something that I didn't know before. So parents, don't try and make your children you. Don't try and live your dreams through your children. Don't try and make your children respond to things the way you would. You're limiting them. They are their own person, and they have an opportunity to explore life in a different way, maybe even better. And if you're willing and open to it, you might actually learn something new. Let's move on to the second point, which is very related, I think, to the first one. The second point, don't compare your children with other children, your friends' children, your pastor's children, children of your neighbors. Just don't do it. You are taking away from them. You're not exactly encouraging them to be their own selves. You know, when we compare people with other people, this does not only apply to children, but because I'm talking about kids, it's very much so as well with kids. If you compare them, you kill their confidence and you make them feel like they're less than who they are. So parents, please do not compare your children with other people. They'll do their own things at their own pace. Be there for them, to support them, and to encourage them to take the next step and the next step, and to learn a new skill and this and that, and also get to know what they like and what they don't like, so that you can encourage more of that, not more of what you would like, because then you're trying to compete with your neighbor or your friends. It's completely pointless. They're going to be miserable in it. And as a parent, I think one of the beautiful things that God has given us is to be there for our children and guide them in the right path, having the wisdom of a parent, observing what is it that they like, and then from there moving along with them. Support, love, wisdom, pray for them, push them, encourage them, tell them that they can actually literally do anything that they want to do. However, comparing them is not going to drive them, it's going to kill their confidence. But when you push them that way, it will make them the best possible people they can be. Future leaders, they will be. Going to point number 3. So remember that discipline is very important. So when you love your kids, you discipline them. If you don't discipline your kids, trust me, the world will discipline them for you. As I said, some of these things I'm practicing out of observation and belief as well. The Bible says that God disciplines whom he loves. So in disciplining our children, we help them to grow up to be more self-controlled adults. I believe in discipline. Now, how you discipline your child, it really is up to you. But please make sure that you put measures in place so that your children know that not everything that can be done should be done. Do you know what I mean? Yes, disciplining our kids is the best way to actually raise them. Number 4, protect your children from inappropriate people. So what do I mean by that? There are people that just speak carelessly in front of kids. Like they just feel like they can comment about you or your child or someone else, or swear, or they don't really think about the things that they say. Now, make it a point that you protect your child from those kind of people by commenting politely. Can you please not use that language around my child? It depends where it is. If it's a public space, move away, or whatever the case is, and explain to your child that that language is actually not acceptable. However, some people use it, but at home it's not acceptable. They should know that it's not a language that they should use. If it's in a place where you can't move away, if it's a family member, politely, you don't have to be rude. Politely say, I don't think that's a really nice thing to say, especially that my child is here, and then explain to your child as well. You are at the same time letting the person know that this is not accepted, and you're letting your child know as well that you're protecting them, and not everything that they hear by an adult or other people is actually acceptable. For example, we were in a flight from Joburg to East London, and there was a lady sitting in front of us. My daughter was laughing out loud and all of these things. She was just being a child. Now the lady decided to turn back and say to me, can you please keep your child quiet? And I was like, okay, so this is a public place. Make sure that you don't go to public places if you feel like you cannot tolerate what comes with it. Because as far as I'm concerned, she's just being herself, and I'm not going to try and keep my child quiet to make you feel comfortable, which is usually the case. It's unfortunate because some parents try to make their children behave in a certain way to make other adults feel comfortable. Listen, never do that at the expense of your child. If your child obviously is being unruly and doing something in public, of course, you always have to, reel them in and say, okay, no, you can't do this. It's not acceptable and all of those things. But at the same time, there are things that kids will do, and you can't help it as a parent, and you shouldn't even try to worry about it because of what other people will say. So call that person to order and tell your child that, you know what, baby, always remember to be yourself. Not everybody will like it, but yeah, do it anyway. Point number 5. So I think it's a very important conversation to have with our kids. What conversation am I talking about? I'm talking about that conversation when you tell your child if someone touches them inappropriately, they should actually come and tell you. First and foremost, they should say no, and then they should come and tell you inappropriate in any kind of way. If it makes your child feel uncomfortable, they should let you know. You should have those conversations with your child as early as possible. When my child started going to kindergarten, which is very early, I started telling her that don't let anyone touch your private part. Of course, they were changing her nappy, but then I spoke to her teachers to say, I hope there's going to be a maximum, not more than, 2 people changing her nappy. She has to identify a person who changes her nappy. She has to know this person changes my nappy. If this person's not around, this one changes her nappy, because it's a privacy. Be straight. Don't be shy. This is your child's sacredness. So make sure that you honor that as a parent. You show them that you honor it, and you also let people that are taking care of them know that, okay, please make sure that you protect this. However, have those conversations, because more often than not, these things happen with familiar people to kids. Now, it can confuse them because they didn't expect it, and they don't expect someone who's familiar to the parent to do such a thing. It's a weird world we stay in. We live in. We stay in. So make sure that you have those uncomfortable conversations with your child. Tell them, honey, if someone does this to you, let mommy know. And then also tell them how special and sacred their body is, their private parts, everything. And nobody should make them feel less than that, which is special. That's the standard that you should set for them. They're going to grow up to protect their bodies and to view their bodies as sacred and special, and honor it as well, the way God would like us to honor our bodies and everything else that is on us. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your time. That would be it for today. As I said at the beginning of the video, I'm actually going to be taking out a poem next week. I'm going to be doing a poem. Yes, and you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you share my videos with your friends, colleagues, family, your circle. Yes. Thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Take care.